first, I want to talk about the nature of wisdom. So Proverbs is not necessarily a book of commands, as most of the passages in the scripture, or most of the Old Testament passages. It's sort of a book of pattern. It's usually short. It's poetic sayings that was gathered from some of the scholars in Israel. Some argue that it was written by Solomon. Most of it were written by Solomon. Some also were written by some sages in those times. But essentially, it's meant to kind of train the heart and the mind towards the good life. And so if you're thinking about the practical ways of understanding what a good life is, I think the book of Proverbs is a good way to start. In fact, the Hebrew word for wisdom, it's chokmah, which it doesn't just mean knowledge. It actually means skill in living. It's the kind of insight that a craftsman had after years of shaping wood, right? Or the kind of maturity that a farmer gains after watching the land respond to the seasons, or it's the kind of wisdom that you get, or it's the kind of experience that you have after staying like years in a particular work and become like an expert in that space, right? In this sense, Proverbs, it's sort of a manual for moral craftsmanship, right? It's a manual for habits, godly habits that leads to a flourishing life. It sort of invites us to shape our lives with attentiveness to God. It invites us to shape our lives with attentiveness to community. It invites us to shape our lives with attentiveness to